Jeff has started recording. Excellent.
I have. Now it said something about new way to view multiple viewers at the same time.
Well, we can see them, but whether it records it or not is the question.
I know. Whiteboard, change layout. Let's go to change layout. Auto.
Shouldn't you have done this before you started recording? Because this is the technical part. It's like the credits. It's like the credits. We're rolling the credits at the beginning.
The fun part.
Is it the best part?
Yeah. Hey, behind the scenes.
I know. I'm thrilled.
Podcast. This is the behind the scenes. This only goes out to our highest paying subscribers.
We don't have any subscribers who are paying.
What are we brought to you by? That's a lie down. Come on. Would you lie down?
Arm & Hammer Super Washing Soda. Next time I'll have the product with me.
No, we'd have to do the by Sheath underwear, like the stuff they do actually on internet ads. Like there are a lot of internet ads out there, and so Sheath underwear is one where all the big expensive podcasts go, we're brought to you by Sheath underwear. They make those comfortable bamboo underwear.
Well, they have to send me some first, and then I can say it's like Mrs. Brady all over again. She's asked to do a commercial and she doesn't believe in the product. I'm sure, and I think that Shirley Jones also did that in the Partridge Family. So I like every 70s or 80s or 90s, you can do Edith Bunker, I think got to do a commercial.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there's at least 3 that I can think of.
Huh.
I'm not positive about Shirley Partridge, but I am sure about Alice and Carol Brady were talking about not being able to tell the truth about the soap, I think it was.
I think so. I think there was that one.
So we will wait for the advertisers to contact us. And
Berberine should be brought to you by Berberine.
Okay, we
Plant Vital Berberine changed my life, and then I bought you some Berberine and sent it to you. Did it change your life?
It did not change my life, but it is fine.
Well, and not taking it is fine. So I really have to.
It's better than
on changing my fine to fine.
It's better, but the dosage says take 1 pill in the morning and 1 at night, and I can never remember the night one.
So take 2 out in the morning, eat 1, and leave the other one sitting out there.
I do, but I can't put it in a place because that doesn't work so good for me. If I count on pills to live, I'm dead because I like.
Tape it to your glasses on the right there, so it's always in your visuals.
Yeah, I've tried a bunch of different places, and so far it hasn't worked.
Put it down by your night table. Take it before you go to sleep.
Hey, we have to talk about our movie. We have to start talking about our movie. Yeah.
Mention the fact that we're doing a podcast about a
movie, and it's a New Year's resolution.
That's incidental to all of this.
Sort of, but we're supposed to at least pretend. Because we have a thing too.
We supposed to watch a movie? So
yes. Okay, so I got to pick the first movie, and I picked The Last Bus. And then there was supposed to be some sort of connection, and you're supposed to figure out the connection. And I gave you some options, and the one that you picked for my pick was Amadeus. And you said I was being punished for something, and so that's why you picked the 3-hour-long movie.
Well, it ended up probably punishing me more than you. It's harder for me to find 3 hours to watch the movie.
Yes. Okay. So, what did you think of the movie?
Halfway into it, I thought it was probably the best movie we'd ever watched. I changed my mind near the second half, not so much, but it was, to me, to be done in the 80s and to be done that well and to tell the story so
compellingly.
And it didn't seem like when you watch anything in the 80s, they're always choppy and and they try and play rock music over, you know what I mean, in the background, and they sell it. Now, I would say in the 80s, they sell it with big hair. But
yes, the hair could not get bigger than that they had. I thought it was a really good 2-hour movie.
Yeah.
The thing is, it was 3 hours.
I agree.
So, but
it could have been a 2-hour movie.
And I could see why it got an Oscar. Like it got Oscars because it was so different. And so, so the Oscars, it won Best Picture, it won Best Actor, it won Best Directing, it Best Costume Design, of course. Best Writing of Adapted. It was adapted by a play by Peter Shaffer. Best Makeup and Hair. I mean, if it didn't win Best Hair, I don't know what anything could ever win again. Like
maybe the movie Hair could win.
Maybe, but even then, maybe not, because it was stunning. Best Costume Design. It was like, of course. So it just won so many of them.
It was such a well done movie. And even the acting was impeccable. The Emperor was just, now I don't even like that guy generally. What's his name? Jeffrey Jones. He's like in trouble legally with sex something. I forget what he got in trouble for. Did you hear about it, or?
Can't remember. I can't say that I knew who he was.
He was the principal in Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I think.
Yeah, I didn't see that. So
yeah, and he's not known as a chunky guy, but a bigger guy. And here he's quite thin and delicate and wonderful. His acting was phenomenal because he became a character, like a principal at a school, and like just, you know, really bland kind of characters for the rest of his life. And this one, I thought he did a fantastic job. I thought Tom Hulse, who played Wolfie. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but
his laugh, and then we all know somebody had a funny laugh, and then that sort of shook you up, and at the first while you knew them, and then you got totally used to it and you liked it, and that's what his is. It was wonderful. You're right. I thought it was a fantastic 2-hour movie.
Done in 3 hours.
Probably because I got tired of it. I got tired of how wonderful it was. You just go, just finish this now. It was wonderful. Finish it. Close this off.
Yeah. And they gave us a little bit too much opera. Like, I wouldn't have mind having a separate, like, let's watch the opera, but they just showed us little bits and pieces of opera, like, done well. And I loved that they had the hoity-toity opera, and they also had him doing the everyman music, which I thought was kind of neat because I hadn't even known, and I'm not sure if that's positively true or if that's part of the thing. So there are some fictions in this story.
Yeah, no, I looked that up too, that the story was a lot of silliness.
A lot of it was like, I mean, they didn't mess with, Mozart was married. Mozart died young. He died a pauper. But Salieri did not take a vow of chastity. Mozart was not an alcoholic. So Salieri did not manipulate the emperor for his job. And then the stranger who commissioned the Requiem Mass at the end was not Salieri, and he hated Mozart. It was a fiction. It was
they got along. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess sure it made a story, and one of those things that could have been, and it was part of it. What I didn't get is the beginning is all kind of based on this. Salieri is confessing that he killed Mozart. And it's like, well, he didn't, did he? And then it's like, well, maybe he did. And that's what they're trying to reveal. And then he didn't, but maybe he felt guilty enough because he hated him. But Salieri's conversation.
He was jealous of him. He didn't hate him at all.
No,
I know. He loved his work. He was enamored by him and wished he would have been seen as that kind of protege.
Yeah, that was the absolute best part of the movie. Salieri's passion for music and the way he exhibited that was just breathtaking. that's why I guess he won the Oscar, because it was beautiful the way he talked about music and what it does to you. And I really thought that was great.
I liked when not Beethoven,
Mozart.
when Bach.
But Wolfie, she called him.
When he talked about, and then the strings come in, and then this comes in, and he goes, and then you layer this, and then I bring, and you sit there, and then you hear it playing as he's saying it, and you go, oh, that's not just music being done. It's
incidental.
It's actually done for a reason. All the little things, and the people who know music. I mean, I was thinking about that. Anne must watch that movie and look at it very differently than we would, because when he goes, oh, it ended with an F major, so we start with A minor, and I'm going, yeah. Well,
sure. Pick any letter of the alphabet you want. Pick a W. I don't care.
No, only A to G.
I know. But I guess part of it too, like with opera, most of the time, I kind of don't get opera. Some of the Italian stuff, and like Shakespeare, sometimes you need, Cliff Notes, because it's like, I kind of don't get it. And Russian authors, I kind of don't get it. Some like abstract art, kind of don't get it.
Religion, I kind of don't get it.
Yeah. Yes. So, and music, there's some stuff about it I don't get it. I can enjoy it absolutely, but I don't understand the depth of it and the layering and so it's almost like it's a language that I know enough how to get to the bus station and order pizza, but I don't know enough to speak words of love or to argue a case in court.
There are people who know how the engine works and is built and operates, and then there are people who ride the bus. When it comes to music, we ride the bus.
Yeah, it's a nice bus.
We're not mechanics.
And I could probably tell you, our tire's flat or something, but that
very incidental aspects, and that was nice, and I really liked his portrayal, even his wife's portrayal. I quite liked her. I like that you got to see her boobies. That was quite nice.
Sure. Yeah, we noticed it was a R-rated, and it's like, so Martin actually watched this one with me.
Oh,
yeah. And he had said, I wonder why it's R. And I said, you're going to see her boobs. And he says, no. And I said, I don't think there's the violence, and I don't think that's going to be part of it. It's going to be the boobs. And she saw the boobs, and they said, you're right. It was the boobs. That's why it's R. It's like, okay. The line I like best with Salieri was when he said, why would God allow an inferior to create perfection? So he had that respect for Mozart, and he just wishes he could have done that himself. He was so enamored by what that man could do that.
So he meant inferior as in his ability to fit in with the aristocracy.
I think so.
Yeah, not inferior in his music creation, because he's perfection.
Yep.
In his music creation. So it's now which of the musicians is the one with the mathematical stuff built into it? One of the musicians, it's all math. Gödel, Escher, and Bach. It's Bach. So Bach is the musician that it's all mathematical. When you go look at that, and the mathematicians sit down and look at it, they see math in Bach's music.
Yeah. Now, okay.
I thought maybe it was Mozart, but the book is called Gödel, Escher, and Bach. So it's got to be Bach.
Okay. One of the things that I really liked, they had the opera, and so they were singing it. And I can't even remember who said it, but it's like, too many notes.
Yeah.
That's
because they wanted to diss him, and then the guy just get rid of notes.
Yes, he got too many notes. It's like, how could I thought that was
the opera had some pages ripped out of it, so it's all happening, but silently.
Yeah.
And the emperor goes, what's this? He goes, well, you asked me to take out the music.
Yeah. So my question for you is, do you know how The Last Bus is connected with this, because you can guess, and then I will send you something, or I will send it to you now.
I can't. I went to ChatGPT and Gemini and Perplexity and asked it questions about what could unify this plus the other two movies that you gave me, because you gave me 3 movies to pick from. And it all went to themes of movies, and here's a theme thing, and that wouldn't be what you're doing. So I have no idea. You might as well just tell me.
Brian Pettifer, who played the hospital attendant wheeling him out at the end.
Okay.
Salieri also played a role in The Last Bus. He played Billy the drunk who sang Amazing Grace.
Oh, okay.
The same guy. It's a number of years later, but
yeah.
So it's the same guy. Billy.
Here's what was strange. Did you notice the wheelchair on how wonderful it was?
Yeah, that was like, why can't that have been
we degraded our wheelchairs.
Yeah.
We've gone wheelchair now is a this and a this and a that was an upright, proud, nice,
beautiful
chair. Yeah, the way he's sitting is very now maybe it's a lot more dangerous. You can tip over a lot more, and there's a whole bunch of funky issues going on with that wheelchair, but that was a beautiful, just the way he rode in it. It was just it was a chair with some wheels on it.
Yeah.
And it was a sitting up chair. I like that wheelchair.
Okay, so when he was wheeling him through the asylum, that was another reason maybe that it got part of the R rating, is because the way they depicted some of the patients in the asylum was pretty gruesome. So that was another layer to why it might have been really.
You wonder why he had riches, you would have assumed.
I don't know.
Well, there's no way he's in the asylum and the priest walks through the asylum and bats down all the
crazies
people, in the asylum, and then he gets through, opens his door and sees this guy in his own room, and he's quite literate and has a great conversation with him, and the priest is enamored with what he's saying. You don't get to be in that part of the asylum if you're one of the paupers of the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So why wouldn't he just be taken care of at home? And he wasn't, because remember the 2 servants who were going to feed him the food when he hurt himself, and they tried to break through the door. Like, he obviously had money because the 2 people who were there to feed him. Yeah. And yet he seems to not be killing himself anymore, if that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
And he could be back home with those servants again. So I didn't quite get why he's sitting and almost blissfully in an asylum where everything that's surrounding you would make you go crazy.
Yeah.
More crazy than the Mozart thing. Like, I could handle what happened with me and Mozart, and I sit there and realize who I'm playing cards with. People who are chained to the wall and chewing on their arms. And so I didn't quite it was a bit sanitized, the crazy. And but I guess that's what you have to do in a movie like that. You can't try and portray it in its real light.
Yeah. But no, it was very I liked it.
Yes. I'm funny that we both thought it was a great 2-hour movie. Could have just been a bit shorter. And you're right. I didn't want to really see why didn't they do this in this world? Why didn't every single movie that's out there have a 3-hour version and a 2-hour version? Like almost every movie, I'm sure they have enough in the cutting. They go, let's just make this an hour and 45 minutes so it fits in commercials and all the stuff that they wanted to do. If they just went and had the full one, so everybody could watch, so people who are passionate about the movie could see the details. And so let's say you have a movie and it does whatever at the box office, $50 million in the first month, which is reasonable kind of thing. And then after 2 months, you put out the longer version and you get the people who really liked it to come back again to it. It doesn't cost you any more. You've already got that. Like, why wouldn't they?
Well, it's a little bit like the DVDs had deleted scenes, but then they're never done in order, and they're not put back in. Well, the only movie that I could think of that possible came close to doing that was The Godfather. How they made so they made Godfather 1, then 2, which had flashbacks, and then 3, which I probably also had some flashbacks. But then they did a chronological Godfather.
Okay.
So they did one set that had from the beginning to the end in chronological order. There's no flashbacks. So that's the only movie franchise or whatever that I've heard of doing that. But that's because they have so many fans, and it's another way of eking. Okay, the fans of The Godfather were going to buy that other box set just to have have that.
I wonder if by the end of this year, if by next year, January, we will be doing our own movies for this. I will make a movie, and you will make a movie. Then I will make a movie. Then you will make a movie, because you'll be able to. Within a year from now, like we're almost there right now.
Sure.
By just drawing out a scene and saying, oh, a duck goes into the water, then comes out and finds a wedding ring and has it on its beak and brings it to the man who's about to give the girl who, asked for her hand in marriage, and he's got this gorgeous diamond ring now. And you know what I mean? Like we could tell that story and then have a movie of it, and then just go, oh, alter this. No, I don't want it sunsets. I want it sunrise. I want, the not to be a duck, but be a chicken. And it'll go, okay. And then give you that. And you go, oh, let's adjust this. And so after a little bit of adjusting, you'll have a movie that will be your little story, so that you and me with the two versions of me eating the flower, and I thought this was good, and then you doing it and eating the flower, and we'll show our two different versions of what we thought that was, and we'll be able to recreate that.
Mine's real because it's been published.
Yeah, well,
Mein
Kampf was published.
Yeah, well, for our many listeners, that Jeff and I argued over a family memory. We both claim it was ours and not the others. So yeah, one day.
I don't claim it's not yours. I claim it was mine, and you used mine. I mean, you could have had it and have done it, but we were on Upper James still when what we did was, I remember putting a spoon or something into the flour and putting it in my mouth and trying to eat it, thinking that this was gonna taste good, because flour makes cake and cake tastes fantastic, and why is this not? And probably breathing in dust and choking on it and spitting some out. I don't remember I just remember really trying to have it taste good. And you said the exact same thing, that you did that.
I remember that it went gummy in my mouth, and Mom caught me, and the top of the flour got gummy and stuck to the roof of my mouth like peanut butter. And when she said, "What are you doing?" and I said, "Nothing." When I said nothing, the poof of flour came out. The part that wasn't stuck to the roof of my mouth came out.
See, well, I think when I did it, Mom wasn't around, and I thought you and I were both there. You're saying you
maybe
did it.
Us did.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that's probably more reasonable then.
Who knows? Well, you were wrong with the Smithville Maple Leafs in 1974.
Why? How's that wrong?
We were already on Upper Ottawa in 1974.
Well, I was in grade 4. I'd be 10 years old. So it'd be the winter when I was 10.
Well, what I am doing now is I have gone to the train station in Smithville, and in the basement, there's a historical society. And I have been combing through the West Lincoln Review. I have done 1969, 70, and 74. And I'm looking for anything that might have anything to do with our family. I did find my name. The Caister Center School listed everyone who was promoted from grade 3 to grade 4. No, 2 to grade 3. Promoted to 3, because the kids in grade 1, it just said so many registered, so there was no name. So your name wasn't in that list. But there's a whole bunch of kids in mathematics prizes and field day things, and I'm never in anything. It's like kind of sad.
I wonder if they would have had the crazy man from China. I was the crazy man from China, I think in grade 1.
Okay.
For the school play.
There was a talent show. So it did.
Ours wasn't. Ours was our class singing the song, and I was acting it out. I was the crazy man from China, and I had to act it out. And there's a line in the song goes, "Crazy man, he got out of bed and bumped his head, and I hit my head back on there were 2 desks put together. I hit my head back. I think it was 2 desks, and I banged my head hard.
Yeah,
it hurt almost to passing out.
Yeah, stars.
And I'm up there, and I had to keep going with the rest of the song. Why anybody in the audience or teachers wouldn't go, "Oh, he hit his head a bit hard there. That's not a little tap." we should check on that boy.
Who was your teacher?
Mrs. Kramer.
Okay. Do you remember Mr. Alley?
Yeah, grade 4.
Okay, I think I saw his name, and it's not spelled ALI like I thought.
Oh, really? I thought it was that way.
Yeah. So, or maybe it was someone else. So like I'm seeing Mr. Sagan and Jerry Hagan, and just names that were familiar. And I think I had
Kramer, Augustine, Laidman, and then Ali.
Okay, I had Stevenson twice, I think, and Mrs. McHugh was my favorite.
I never had. I always remember Mr. Ali's floor hockey team would always win, even with the upper grades.
Okay.
Like we'd play the grade 6ers, and we would be able to beat them. He coached the floor hockey team so well, and we beat them. And the year before, his team beat them. That kind of thing. I don't remember the specifics on it, but I do remember for the crazy man from China. I was sitting at the back of the class, and I wasn't listening. I was doing something, and the teacher was talking, and all of a sudden, everybody put their hand up in front of me. So all I see is this, everybody's hand go up. So I go put my hand up like this, just because this is what you do when everybody puts their hand up. Yep. And she goes, "Jeffrey, we'll pick you." And I'm sitting there going,
"For what?"
I don't know what it was. And then things start happening, and I'm the crazy man from China.
Okay.
I got my start in acting.
In drama, yeah. No, but I've been having a lot of fun going through that.
Yeah.
If I find anything, like I snap pictures, and so I'm looking actually for a lot of things. There's a number of reports from the OPP, and I'm wondering if there'll be a comment on Dad's accident.
Yeah.
I'm looking for when he ran for alderman.
Yeah. Well, grade was I in? I was in grade 4 then, the winter of grade 4, because I remember Mr. Ali had a vote in the class for alderman. We had like our own little vote, and people put votes down, and Dad won. But not by a lot.
Right.
So there was a son. A lot of people voted for somebody else.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think that was the only election Dad won.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to look for, Dad was in the Lions Club. I think he was the vice president of the Lions Club. So I'm keeping my eye out for those things, anything with Caister Center School. So yeah, it's kind of fun. Feel like Nancy Drew the sleuth. But it's funny when I read my name, Elaveld Anita. That meant I was in grade 3 or whatever it was. And it's like, it feels like it's proof I was there. Like no one, like I can say I was there, but look, there's my name. And it felt kind of cool.
Somebody would note such an insignificant thing at the time, and they somehow thought, well, that's important to write down for somebody in the future. And sure enough, 50 years later, it wraps around and gets looked at for the purpose it was actually done for. That's pretty cool.
Well, and it's funny because that's like, I'm not good. There's all kinds of stuff And it's like, I'm not in any of the sports stuff. Then there was a choir and I'm looking, no, I don't think I'm in the choir. But so I snapped the picture of the paper anyways, but it will be interesting to see if I can find anything. That's all. Instead of walking in Smithville, I spent more time. Although I was walking and I almost got caught in the rain. Boy, oh boy, it came down and I was almost drenched.
Yeah, you have a good walking season this winter because of lack of snow.
Snow, yes.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, for
Next
sure.
10 days are all above freezing.
Yeah, I think there's a 14, 15. Well, tonight they said it was going to go down and it's going to go down hard and fast and weather alert and all that stuff. And I don't think it's near the kafoofle they said.
Yeah, it's going to get cold here tonight too, but still going up to 8 tomorrow, and it was 10 today, and it's
yeah, we went up to 15.
I'll have no snow on my lawn tomorrow, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Yeah, there's if there was a pile, and there was nothing to pile. Martin's gotten the Bobcat out twice, but it was not to move snow. It was just kind of to clear off the driveway so that it would melt nice, but it wasn't because it was too deep.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I've not shoveled the driveway yet this winter. The neighbors come over about 3 times, but there was only 3 inches of snow on the driveway.
Yeah, it's just to clear it off because it's tidier. That's all, not because you needed to get out or anything. Okay, so
I was going to say, Connor and Alice. I don't know if Alice does, but Connor was here last year from England, and I was messaging him, and he was doing a pet sit. And then he said, "Oh, looking forward to the next Anita and Jeff podcast when it comes out."
Connor, hello.
And I went, "Oh my goodness, that's so cool."
Okay, that's another one for you. You have
Yes.
Stacy and Connor, and I have Diddley Squad. I had Frances, but her sound went out on her computer. So it's almost like, Frances, we're going to get you some sound so you can listen to it.
Oh, we should do the closed captions. I could have turned them on.
Yeah, I don't think she hasn't talked about it lately. But she was very kind. So Connor and Stacy. Well, hello to you.
Maybe Alice. I don't know, but
okay.
I don't know if she'd put up with it, but it looks like Connor.
Well, and it's not just watching us. It getting to the end because like I have TikTok, and then I look and see my videos. And it's like, okay, the average view is 4.3 seconds. And it's like, okay, there's not very many. How many people got to the end? 1.7%. It's like, okay, that's not very many people. I'm a swipe really fast. But that's okay.
Okay, it just gets us together. That's I tell people, it's not for anybody else. It's so you and I can
chat.
Are forced to do the chat.
It's intentional. And I would normally not watch a movie. I just do not sit and watch a movie.
I wouldn't watch a movie so that I could critically discuss it for 2 minutes in a 1 hour discussion.
Yeah, it's all good. Next time you get to pick, and then you will pick the next one and then see if I can connect the two. Okay. We'll see what you'll come up with and see what so it backfired on me when I gave you Mozart, Amadeus as a choice because it was so long and you picked the long one just to spite me. So when Doug, our brother, was here staying over, I said, well, I'm going to be watching the movie. And if you want to, you can go home. And then when it's time, for the Google thing, Jeff will send me the link and I'll send it to you. And then you can just pop on and start talking about it. And he said, how long is the movie? I said, 3 hours. He said, no, it's okay. So it's like, almost. And then I said, well, you don't have to have watched the movie. Just log on anyways. And then, see how long you can talk about something.
What's the movie about? Give me some important stellar viewpoints on the movie, and then he could have pretended he watched it.
Yeah,
the other thing is it would come up and say Doug Elveld is attempting to join. Do you admit him? I could say no, and then your plan will have been screwed up.
Well, I think Yes, but I think that you would. If I said I've invited someone, I hope you'll let him in. Then I think you would have.
Yeah,
I don't think you could have said nope.
You're right. You're right. I would hope would be good enough to thwart your
efforts.
attempt at subterfuge in our.
It wasn't a subterfuge. It was a nice surprise. That's what it was.
Or subterfuge.
It's Karen's birthday today. We're filming this on my daughter's birthday.
Yes, I sent her a message, said happy birthday. How old is she? What year was she born?
1986.
86?
Yep.
Okay, so she's 38.
Wait until Andrew turns 40. That's gonna rot my socks because Anne just turned 40, it feels like. Ken's 50. Yeah, it's starting to, man. But do you remember Grandpa and Grandma Bailey when it was their 50th anniversary, and they had the picture in the basement of the Church of Christ in Sault Ste. Marie, and they were old, pruny, wrinkly people. And it's like, I'm 6 years away from, that 6 or 7 years. And there's no way I look that old.
I don't know. I think we might.
No, the curly gray hair and the wrinkles.
They didn't know to not be that way. We think differently. I think we're pretty close to the same age when we're 60 as when somebody was 60. I think we don't see it because we're looking in our own mirror and we watched ourselves and we see a young version of it. But I think 20-year-old people and 15-year-old people look at us as really old people. Not, I guess.
We still have parents alive, so it's when they're gone, then we're the old people in the picture. So as long as they, they're kicking around.
You become the matriarch and I become the patriarch at that moment in time.
Yeah, that's we're not there yet. So, I mean, like Ken's parents have both passed, so it depends on how long people live, I guess, sometimes to have that.
Yeah, well, maybe this discussion shouldn't be part of the Amadeus book report.
Yeah. Possibly, but we've gone off topic before.
Yeah. Have we ever been on topic for
longer than a couple minutes?
Time? No, we've never done that. Never.
Oh, but I was looking through a bunch of movies, and it's like, so watch that with Jeff. Oh, like Jojo Rabbit and Sling Blade was our first one, and it's like, oh man, these are a long time ago that we've
done a lot of movies.
Yeah. More than I thought.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. And I look forward to making a movie. And we could say, make a movie, take these 46 movies and make a movie of the central theme of the 46 into one movie. Then it will do it. Like,
yeah. Well, I don't know. I've seen some AI pictures that are pretty bad.
What do you mean?
There was for trying to here's a picture of a husband and there's a story and they have the guy next to his wife and she's old and his head is on backwards and they have an extra arm sticking out. And it's the art is not there yet. The
funny thing is you can say make a sign with these words on it and it won't get the words right.
Yeah. So it's not quite really right
cool. Yet. It's really interesting how it doesn't even get the words right because it obviously does voice dictation and gets every word you're saying to it correctly. But when it's converting that into art, it doesn't get it's. I've asked it a few times make a bunny rabbit with a World War II bomber helmet on his head, hold up a sign saying, and it makes some really cool looking things. And then the sign only once, 6 pictures had the correct words on it.
Yeah, and that you asked for a family picture with certain ages, and they were not the right ages. And then you said with longer or shorter hair or grayer hair, and then there was long flowing brown locks or something.
Oh no, mine. I wanted a computer programmer, an older computer programmer, and no matter what, they had facial hair, and I would say, I don't want any facial hair on the computer program. Goes, oh, okay, I understand, and it would make a facial hair one.
Okay, I think we have had this exact same conversation in one of the videos. So we could say, New Year's resolution, December or February. It's the same conversation.
Yeah, no, I remember we were talking about this.
Yes, but whether or not was recorded, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I think it was.
I think so too, somehow. Yeah, that means we've been talking too long if we bring in stuff.
Yes.
So we will see you next month, and Jeff will pick something besides his nose.
I have my eyes set on something very interesting.
Okay.
And very different.
Okay.
And I'm looking forward to getting your feedback on it.
Sounds good.
And it's not Cyberman.
Yep. Okay, so we'll see you next month.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.